What is up? Welcome to the Existential Stoic podcast. Quick note, this is our 200th episode. Woo!
Woo!
Congratulations, Randy.
I can't believe it. It's been a pleasure the whole ride through.
It really has. I can't believe we've done that many. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Hmm.
And what we have in store for you today is if you ever struggle talking to people, or you ever struggle getting people to do what you want, or maybe to try and get them to see your side of the, perspective or whatever, you're in luck because they were going to talk about how to influence and persuade. It's going to be a quick fix. We're just going to share a few tips to help you, learn how to hopefully do this better. I'm going to start with my day. I think we already introduced, but before we do that, I should say, I'm Dan from my buddy Randy. What's up, Randy?
But
I did, yeah, kind
this
of,
is
right?
something that's always this
Yeah,
is something that's always interests me because there's so many books on like how to influence people, how to persuade. And it's like,
yeah.
why do people care so much? Like, why?
Well, you know what's funny though? I think that's what always cracks me up is like the people that like buy all those books and focus on that. I think they probably are worse at it than the people that just don't care. Like,
Hmm.
I think the people that just don't care probably do best.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, or they
Absolutely.
just expect it. All right.
Hmm.
So I'm starting.
Hmm.
Yeah. My first one, and as you remind me, I've gotten done this well a lot, but that's all right. I think you need to listen. I do think you need to listen because if you want to persuade people and you want to influence them, it's helpful to kind of know where they're coming from. So you can actually, if you, because I'm thinking of persuading and influence in the sense of manipulation too, a little bit. It's always getting people to do what you want, right? So you have to kind of know where they're coming from to kind of be able to sort of steer things in the right direction so that you can get them to go in the direction you want.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to listen because you need to be able to fulfill their needs as well. They're not going to
Yeah.
fulfill yours if you're not going to be able to fulfill theirs. So listening is definitely
Yeah.
a key skill.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, so that's a good one. My first one is don't try. Like all these freaking tryhards who are trying so hard to manipulate people, to influence them, to persuade them. It's like, don't try. Just give it up. Like the it's like the people who try and manipulate others are the most easy to be manipulated. And it's
Yeah.
just like there's no reason to do it because if you wait until we get to my example number two, you'll see why you don't even need to try when it comes to
No.
influencing and persuading, which is kind of that's the hook to keep people in there until my next one.
There you go. Nice. I like that. So it'll stay for number two. But no, I think you're right though. I think, it's easy to like it's almost like laughable when you can see when somebody's trying so hard to be persuasive, to be influential, to get other people's attention. And it's like, dude, it's like it's like you might as well be wearing a billboard that says, I'm trying to validate myself and I'm trying to make others see my perspective. It's like you're trying way too
I'm
hard. And
needy.
it's, yeah, exactly. It comes off as needy. Whereas I think when people don't try, people are naturally kind of attracted to that because they're not putting their stress on you. It's not like they're not making it a thing. It feels like you can help rather than be given a direction. You know what I mean? Or rather than be given a command to do something. And I think there's a way big difference between those two. I like that one. My next one is adopt the perspective of others to understand their motivations. I think this is important, especially like if you're in a, if you're in a work situation and say you're managing, or like, if you're trying to, I mean, I know I do this in when I teach, when I'm trying to lead a classroom. If you can understand the motivations of the individuals like that you're working with, you're way better positioned to give them what they want or to help them see that doing what you want them to do or thinking the way you think is going to help them get to where they want to go and fulfill those goals. And once you do that, it's like really easy because they'll just do it naturally. They'll want to do it because they want to get those same goals. So
Yeah, that's a great one. Like putting yourself in other people's shoes. And it's probably one of the hardest skills out there because I still struggle with it on a regular
oh yeah,
basis. Like
oh
I
yeah,
think I'm right about everything and everybody else is completely wrong. And it's like I
yeah,
struggle with this regularly, but it's probably one of the most beneficial things you can do is to put yourself in someone else's shoes to see their perspective.
yeah. I'm very good at it when I'm not thinking about it, and then as soon as I think about it, I'm terrible at it. Like when I want to do it, I'm not very good at it. I'm good at it when I'm just like thinking, like just whatever. It's funny.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
So my second one for how to influence and persuade is be an example. Like stop trying to get people to do what you want and do it. Why don't you just do it perfectly first and then other people will follow you? Like that's really the only way to do it. Because otherwise you're just a nag and nobody wants that. And But
Yeah,
if you actually like embody it and become this thing that you're supposed to do, other people will want to follow you because they're inspired by you, not because you're a pain in the butt.
yeah, inspiration, dude, is like one of the best ways to persuade and influence others. It's to make them want to do it on their own. Not, I think that's the problem. A lot of people see it more as manipulation, like in the sense of trickery. Like, like getting others like to do what you want them to do and like kind of being like the puppeteer. And it's like that isn't gonna, well, one, it's easy to spot, and two, even if you do get people, it's not gonna last because they'll see through it. I think whereas if you can inspire them, it's like they'll do it on their own accord. They'll want to do it better too, and they'll actually want to do it well. I think it's a really good one. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
important. It goes nicely with my last one too, I think, which is just, being an example, showing you can actually do it. It goes really nicely with just my last one is confidence, having confidence in yourself, having confidence that you can do things, and kind of being a confident just example in the world is also something that attracts people. But I think that goes really well. It's like if you are an example, you'll be confident. You know you can do it. Like, you're showing everyone you can do it. And yeah, someone to
Yeah,
follow.
confidence, whether it's real or fake, people are attracted to it, and
Yeah.
yeah, and they definitely want to follow it. So my last one is care, and it all comes back to that saying, uh, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So basically, like
Yeah.
most people want to influence others, they want to shove their ideas down other people's throats. They really don't care about the other people. They just want their ideas to be disseminated, blah, 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 all this stuff. Whereas if instead you actually care about the other people, like find out what's important to them, find out what their goals and dreams are, find out how this idea that you need to force down their throat could actually help them out, and then start, because once you do that, they're more likely to care about you. And if you think about in your life where there are people that you care about, you're more likely to heed their requests. You're more likely to be influenced or persuaded by them as opposed to somebody you don't care about.
No, I really like that one because I think it's so often misunderstood when you talk about influence and persuasion because people think of like really just greed and getting what they want rather than actually thinking it through of like, how can you best lead? It's essentially leadership is how I think of it. Like, how can you best lead people? And I think you're right. Knowing what they care about, being able to identify what matters to them, being on their side, showing that you actually give a shit will be like really the way to get them not only to do what you want, but to do it really well. I think people forget that too. Because it's one thing to get people just to follow you or just to tacitly sort of agree with you. It's another thing to get people to actually want to participate and want to do it and want to sort of buy into whatever your thing is, right? And I think that takes actually showing them that they matter to you and you value them as a person. It's a very good one. Yeah, it's a good one to end. I like that. So that's it. How to influence and persuade from the Existential Stoic podcast. A little quick fix. We will be back later this week with another full length episode. If you can, please share, subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Check us out on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. This has been our 200th episode, or it's now in season 3. So, and I will catch you later, Andy.
Later, Danny.